This podcast is part of the BombPod Media Network.
Hi there.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Welcome to episode 20-something.
Yeah.
Stalkers. Woo! We're doing this on a Monday.
Yeah, a little delayed.
Sometimes we do it on Sundays.
Usually.
Shit happens when you party naked.
We're letting everybody down by starting a day later, but it's okay.
You guys will be all right because all the podcasts that are way better than us, they launch on Mondays too. So they're just taking it.
The world's funny like that.
They're just taking all the glory.
Yeah, let them. They can have it.
And if you guys are listening to us and you like us, we got to get this out here first. Go review us on iTunes. We're doing really well on iTunes.
Thanks to you.
Keep on getting all kinds of fantastic reviews. And you may not know this, but if you send me a screenshot, I will send you a sticker.
Yay, and who doesn't love stickers?
Eventually.
Give them to your kids for them to put on something for you to rip off later.
Yeah. I do my best with the stickers. We're doing this all by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to give us some time. A little bit of time.
Just a little bit.
And October 28th, we're going to be live at the Lucky Star Brewery for our very first Brohio live show.
Good old Miamisburg.
You can come out and we're going to drink some craft beer. We're not going to get drunk because we're going to try and keep ourselves together.
Speak for yourself.
Completely professional. We're going to talk to you guys. We're going to bring stickers. And if you come and you're like, hey, I'm here to see Brohio.
Are we going to have shirts too?
I'm going to say, here's some stickers. I don't know. Because
we'll see how that goes.
I got to order some more.
Possibly.
I could probably get some more.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think we've...
I'll wear mine, and if anybody wants it, I'll give them mine.
Cut it off my lifeless corpse when I pass from alcohol poisoning.
It'll happen.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people requesting women's sizes.
Yeah, I'm working on an idea for that now.
Low cut that fits on breasts.
All right.
My wife wants one.
Okay.
Love her breasts.
All right.
Going on 10 years now.
We'll make them deep V-necks too. Share them puppies to the world.
Yeah, I have an article to share with you, Rob, and the Brohio Nation.
I'm
from
ready.
Our friends at WKBN in Warren, Ohio. Police in Ohio say a teenage boy admitted to having sex with a dog again.
Again?
Police said a family member found the 17-year-old boy naked in bed with a wiener dog named Pee-wee.
Of course it's named. We had a wiener dog and its name was Wee Wee, so it's pretty close.
During an extensive interview at Trumbull County Children's Services, he confessed to having sex with the dog in July and September, according to investigators. Why not,
Boy's got needs.
He's facing 2 counts of bestiality and animal cruelty charges. Police said it is the second time that the boy was charged with sexually assaulting a dog. Last year, he was charged with animal cruelty because the crime happened before the city's new bestiality law went into effect.
So they had to change the law because of this kid, pretty much.
There's this boy down the street keeps on fucking all the wiener dogs. We got to make it illegal.
Oh, man. The fact that he admitted to having sex with the dog, he could have just said, no, I didn't.
Fuck that wiener dog.
It's like, oh, yeah.
I didn't fuck that wiener dog. Maybe he was just confused. Why would you name a dog wiener dog if you don't want someone to put their wiener in it?
It makes sense to me.
It's fucking science, bro.
Right.
My fellow Brohio friend, it's science.
And the dog may have wanted it too.
You never know. He had that jar of peanut butter and he wouldn't quit looking at me.
He gave it the old Bill Cosby.
Yeah. And he got what was coming to him. Poor dog.
Poor thing.
God.
What a fun life.
And the best part about that is it happened in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I think it was fairly recently that they enacted the bestiality laws here in Ohio. Like, they weren't a thing for a long time.
Yeah, there's actually, I think there's a couple places that there's not
Son of a bitch.
laws like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but
Because the one thing I like to do after a long day out in the field is come back and fuck my donkey.
Well.
And I don't want no Donald Trump, no
right.
Michelle Obama telling me what I can and can't do to my donkey.
I paid good money for it.
I can
paid do what I want.
A fine penny for this piece of ass, and I'm going to hit it whether Ted, Joe, or Bill says I can or can't.
We're like, 5 minutes in, and we were already talking about fucking animals. If it's your first episode, hey, welcome.
Yeah, just don't think about this when you leave the iTunes review.
Just wait till we get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
And then just judge us harshly off of
Yes,
that.
please do. And then we have our friend Dale here for an interview. Dale, I was told you guys were doing an episode about stalkers.
We are, yes. What do you have to say about that?
I was told that maybe you wanted some first-hand stories of people that were involved in stalkings.
Yeah, and we've been asking for them all week to send them in. We got some good ones. What do you got?
I've been emailing all week. I didn't know if you were looking for people that had been stalked, or if you were looking for someone that's been doing the stalking.
You know what? We're not discriminating of either side of the story. So what do you?
I feel like you're making fuck me eyes at me right now, and I'm really uncomfortable.
Well, a little bit.
These are the same eyes I make at people right before I break into their house and I steal their panties and I wear them on my face to Kmart.
So I guess it's safe to say that you're the one doing the stalking.
Well, ever since Kmart went out of business, I haven't really been doing too much panty snatching.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it?
I'm gonna kill myself in that forest there in Japan.
Yeah, that's a really sad place.
You could check out the Japanese suicide forest. That was our last episode.
Terrible. Terrible place.
Terrible stuff.
Yeah, real bad.
And we're talking about stalkers.
Yes.
I don't know how. Well, I do know how we came to this subject. Our wonderful research assistant, Courtney, she has a list of topics for us, and this is one of them. And I said, Rob, let's go with this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we can do here.
Anything we have firsthand experience on, we're on. We're going to let you figure out which side of the fence we fall on that one.
I have never been convicted.
True. Very
Right.
true. I did pass my polygraph test for the county whenever I did that.
First time I took a polygraph when I was 18, I passed it. And then when I took one when I was 22, failed.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same for you, but they sat there and they would hook you up to it, and then they asked like 200 questions, but then from the actual polygraph, they categorized everything and said, did you lie about this?
Yes.
Did you lie about this? It was just a grouping.
They did the same thing to me.
The only thing, and I don't even know why this happened, but whenever they asked did you lie about any of the deviant sex acts questions,
I got the same
dude,
thing.
my body locked up and I could felt my pulse go crazy, and I didn't lie. And these are the questions like where they've asked, like, have you ever fucked an animal?
Right.
Have you,
The polygraphist asked me, he said, have you ever let your family dog lick peanut butter off your nuts?
Yeah, they asked me the same thing.
And I said, I have never. What kind of peanut butter are you talking about is my question.
Or like the ones where like, have you ever, they play it down. They were like, so I mean, you're telling me that you've never been to a clothing store and looked underneath the sheet where the people are changing at?
No.
Like, no, I swear.
I go home and I jerk off to Golden Girls. I don't need this shit.
But yeah, that's funny. And I was sitting there, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was like, yeah, I didn't, but I told him, I was like, because he was like, well, do you think you passed on all of them? I was like, well, I know I'm not, I know I'm telling the truth, but
Back
I
when
freaked out a little bit on that question.
When you asked me the question about my chihuahua, I don't think we should use that on the test anymore. That should be.
Can we edit that out?
Yeah. Oh,
It's a crazy world.
We're trying to talk about stalkers here, and we can't get off the subject of making love to animals. Jesus. After I just kicked my dog out of this room.
Yeah, poor thing. He was being good for once.
Yeah. Well, first we're going to cover the types of stalkers.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of types of stalkers.
There's a lot of different ones. It's not just your average, everyday, hey, I'm gonna follow this girl. There's motives.
Just some guy with 4 chins popping up in your window every night at about 11:45.
The guy that stands outside your room holding the radio.
You're trying to watch Letterman and eat some fucking Rocky Road, and there he is, just rubbing his man nips against the window.
Ooh.
Big old baloney nips.
I'd let him in.
Yeah. Come on in. Come on in, fella.
Watch some boob tube with me,
Check
buddy.
out them hairy nipples.
I got enough popcorn for the both of us.
Yeah. We got the rejected stalker coming in at number 1 on the list.
Poor guy.
He is an individual. I'm going to call all these stalkers he's. Because the only person in the entire world that's had a female stalker was Selena. God rest her soul.
Poor thing.
But she gone.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
The rejected stalker is one that's rejected in a relationship, and they perceive it as an insult, and they feel wounded, and they're seeking vindication.
So they're just hurting.
They're just mostly crazy ex-boyfriends.
Right.
I think you're going to be able to chalk up most of these to just crazy ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, that's your stage 5 clingers there.
Stage 5 clinger.
Yeah.
They follow their victim in order to reverse, correct, or avenge a rejection,
Aw.
divorce, separation, or termination. And you also got to think about, I guess, a rejected stalker would be one that maybe a fellow employee that's been fired.
Right.
I know at my place of employment, anytime someone's fired, there's about a 4-day window where I'm just waiting for him to come back with a gun and just fucking mow it down.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
Well, that's good.
Right. And that's your...
You got to keep a lookout for them, though.
Yeah. And then there is nothing worse. I have a lot of friends that are, divorced or single, and they're kind of going through the motions of getting back into seeing someone finally, and they're dealing. Obviously, they're older, so they're dealing with women that are kind of had past relationships, have kids, families involved and whatnot. And these fucking ex-husbands, I swear to God, they're the worst. They're fucking crazy assholes.
Yeah, they all suck.
And I think about, what would happen if my wife and I separated? What would I do to some Joe Schmo coming in trying to make my kids call him dad? I'd fucking kill him.
Oh, yeah.
So, just so it's on record. So if anyone's trying to hang out with my wife or whatever, just keep that in the back of your mind. That it's going to be going down.
If that guy ends up dead, you know where to find him.
I fucking killed him.
Safe to say.
I shoved a wiener dog up his ass and he died.
Next.
Why don't you cover
We got the resentful stalker. So these are your self-righteous or self-pitying people who may threaten, but they're not really likely to act on it. So they talk a lot of shit.
I have one for this one.
Oh, okay. They made a vendetta because of a sense of grieving against the victims. It's usually motivated mainly by their desire to frighten and distress the victim. So they're pretty much just trying to freak them out.
If you recall, it's probably been, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, the Christopher Dorner guy in Los Angeles, he was fired from the LA Police Department. And then he proceeded to kill I think it was the prosecutor's daughter, and he killed some cops as well. Jeez. And there was a manhunt for him for several days. This would actually be a good episode for us. I think. Yeah,
I don't know anything about that.
I think last podcast on the left covered it.
Of course they did.
But they're the grandfathers of the Brohio podcast.
They've covered everything.
Yes.
The fucking Lobster Boy episode is still my favorite to date. Yeah. It's so good.
They chased him up in the mountains, and they lit a fucking cabin on fire with him inside of it. And he died because they lit this motherfucker on fire. He was fired from the police department for, I think it was like conduct unbecoming to the department, something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And he turned it into a racism thing. He was a Navy veteran. And the thing about him is he completely had his head on straight. He was a normal guy. But
wait, was he a white dude?
He kind of looked like he was possibly interracial. Possibly, I think he might have been black, but I remember him kind of being a light-skinned
guy. Okay.
Yeah. And he...
I was going to say, he's going to play the race card being white?
Yeah.
You're getting rid of me because I'm white.
But he went on this killing spree. I mean, he killed some cops. He killed the prosecutor's daughter.
Oof.
And this was all just vendetta stuff where he was trying to get back.
Just getting even. He
was trying to bring to light the corruption in the LAPD.
Gotcha.
And I would have to imagine that department is so overrun with shit like that. You got the gangs, you got the mafia out there, you have the cartel out there, and to think that these guys in that department aren't doing some underhanded shady shit.
Yeah, I think that department has a notorious streak where they've been going into some shady stuff.
Yeah, and with the
corruption and stuff.
And recently with the race tensions in America, they are, I think they've laxed their hiring standards quite a bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
So here in about 5 years, it's just going to be,
It's a free-for-all.
yeah,
The
open
Wild
door.
Wild West.
Yes, it's going to be fucking awesome.
That's great.
So he's kind of an example of a resentful stalker where he was let go from the job and had a vendetta, and he came back and he got that ass for sure. And you have the intimacy-seeking stalker, and I really want to emphasize intimacy. These are my favorite, I think. They believe they're loved or they'll be loved by the victim. Often they focus on someone of higher social status.
Okay.
She had a really fancy butt, and I wanted to see what it looked like. That makes me laugh. This person is normally mentally ill and delusional. They seek to establish an intimate, loving relationship with their victim. These stalkers often believe that the victim is a long sought-after soulmate, and they were meant to be.
That's touching.
That is...
So they think that their victim's going to fall for Stockholm syndrome there.
Yeah. There's some... And we have
it's a little delusional.
We have some stories to share with you guys of just these guys... They grab onto something and they run with it, and it's the most terrifying thing. There's one specific story, and I am going to read it. I'm not 100% sure I put it in my research, where this girl had nothing to do with the situation and she was still stalked by accident. We'll get to it later, but these guys that do this stalking, you have to blame it on a mental health issue because no one of a right mind. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And I am so glad that I've never had a stalker, and I don't think I ever have to worry about it.
It kind of makes you wonder.
Like I've said before, there was that girl in middle school that tried to turn me, she told me she's a witch.
Yeah.
And she cut her foot off with a lawnmower later on in life. So karma comes full circle for witches.
Oh, that was a good time.
And she got what was coming to her.
Who knows what happened to her?
Yeah.
If you're listening, hey, how's your foot?
Yeah.
Next up, we have the incompetent.
That's kind of where I would fall as far as stalkers.
Now, this person is socially backward. They don't understand the social rules involved in dating and romance, so they're completely awkward and weird. They don't mean any harm. They're just weird as shit.
I just picture some guy at the grocery store, ringing up groceries, and just one day he goes home and just gets in the white pages, gets in the Google.
It's our old...
every time she comes in my lane, she brings the really big pickles, and I know it's because she wants my pickle. There's no way around it. I have to find her because we were in love.
And he just follows her home. Poor thing.
What are you doing here?
I've come here to fuck you.
You left your pickles. He just brings more pickles to her.
You forgot one pickle. It's right here.
Mine. Now, despite poor social or courting skills, I love that.
You curtsy to your wife when she walks in. Good morning, my lady. I'm here to court you. Hop in this pumpkin here.
Is this good for you?
Yeah.
Just bow to her. They'll have a fixation, or in some cases, a sense of entitlement to an intimate relationship with those who have attracted their amorous interest. So just because they're interested, they feel the need that you should be interested as well. That's logical. I get that.
I want to make love to you so hard.
I know you want me to.
I know you want to ride my face like a cowboy, don't you?
Now, their victims are most often already in a dating relationship with someone else as well.
Imagine that. A desirable human being being in a relationship.
Right. Who would have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that guy.
I like this one. I like this next one too.
I love how we're saying we like these. These things are fucking horrible.
The Predator. Oh, yeah. Predator. This is about sexual gratification, control, and violence. I'm a fucking predator. There's no way around this one. This stalker doesn't necessarily know the victim. The victim may not know they are being stalked, but a predator plans their attack, rehearses it, and has lots of sexual fantasies about it.
Oh, okay.
They also spy on the victim in order to prepare a plan of attack, often sexual, on the victim. We covered a man, some of you may not have heard of him before, prior episode, His name was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
In his first act, he lied in the woods along a jogging trail.
Yeah, and hid in the bushes.
And he stalked a young man several times, and his plan was to hop out,
He was a jogger.
fucking hit him in the head with the heaviest dildo ever, drag him back to the house, cut him up, fuck him, and eat him. It didn't necessarily work out for him.
Yeah, it didn't. Poor guy.
Flash forward a few years, he made up for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he... tenfold.
Hell of a guy, though.
Yeah, great guy besides that.
If
He's
you have any-
like to eat people.
If you have any questions about Jeffrey Dahmer, you can refer to that prior episode in the Brohio catalog.
Yeah.
He used to drill people's heads open and put boiling water and acid in it to try and turn them into sex slaves, sex
Yeah.
zombies.
He got a skeleton or a skull...
A dick and a skull in a box. His dad tried to...
Well, he had the shrine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Hell of a guy.
altar. That's the word I'm looking for.
And he's from
fun.
Ohio as well.
Yeah, of course. Everybody fucked up's from either Ohio or Florida. That's how it goes.
Wisconsin is a bad one as well.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I like that. I just like that accent.
Cheese curds.
Jeez. Oh, dude, so good. My favorite thing ever.
I know.
All right. What do we got next? The vengeance / terrorist stalker.
This is some FBI shit right
Oh,
here.
yeah. This is right from the wiki. Both the vengeance stalker and terrorist stalker, the latter sometimes called the political stalker, not in contact with some of the aforementioned type of stalkers, seek a personal relationship with their victims, but rather force them to emit a certain response.
That's kind of like a ransom type deal
That's, yeah.
where, I guess in essence it is a stalker, but these are more along the lines of like it says in the beginning, terrorist acts, where it's kind of do this for me, or I will kill this. I will kill your wiener dog if you don't give me $5 million.
Yeah. Now, while the vengeance stalker's motive is to, of course, get even with the other person, he or she, as perceived, has done them wrong. So, an employee who believes they're fired without justification from their job by their superior. So that's kind of, you mentioned that a little
Christopher Dorner falls in that, definitely.
bit. Yeah.
A real fucking asshole.
The political stalker intends to accomplish a political agenda, also using threats and intimidation to force his or her target to refrain or to become involved in particular activity, regardless of that victim's consent.
That's Antifa.
So, for example, most prosecutions in this stalking categories have been against anti-abolitionists who stalk doctors in an attempt to discourage the performance of abortions.
Oh, they're not bad people necessarily.
They're just trying to quit abortion. They're trying to quit the doctors from giving them. Yeah, these are the people, though.
Yeah.
They pretty much will. They dox them. It's like online. If there's a like a center that performs abortions, and if you look up the doctor that does it, most of the times these people have already doxed them and put all of their personal information online.
Oh, yeah.
Where they live, their telephone numbers, and things like these. So these are crazy people. Well, not. I'm not going to say necessarily crazy, but
Passionate.
They're very passionate, but they go about everything the wrong way.
Well, once upon a time, I did private security, and there was a detail to perform executive protection for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, sure, that sounds pretty fucking awesome.
Right.
It turned out it was an abortion doctor. It was an abortion doctor, and he was coming into town for some type of, I don't know what he was coming into town for, but he needed executive protection to follow him around and make sure no one fucking killed him.
Makes sense.
And I didn't know this until after the fact.
Until after the fact that you volunteered, or after the fact that you'd already done the job.
After the job was done.
Oh, okay.
I just let him die. Fuck it. Go meet all the innocent children you killed, you fucking asshole. There's a special kind of, I don't know. I guess I don't feel very passionate either way about issues like that, so I'm not going to pretend like I have an opinion. Just someone that kills babies.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I get it.
Right. So then we got the overall profiling of stalkers here in our notes. Many of them are going to fit into different type of personality and character disorders, mainly paranoia and schizophrenia. There's pills for that stuff.
There is.
You can go see a doctor and you can say, hey, I woke up this morning and I thought about killing 13 people. And he'll say, well, here's some pretty little green pills for you. Here's some pretty little blue ones. If you're having crazy thoughts like this, reach out to your healthcare professional and they'll be more than happy to assist with this. I think the intimacy seeking stalkers often have delusional disorders which involve erotomania delusions, which I looked into erotomania, and it's
Just
kind
looked it
of
up. It's where the person that has it believes that other person is in love with him or her.
yes.
So they're delusional, thinking that person loves them.
It's like Lloyd Christmas. So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
I was shopping for some lingerie because sometimes on the weekends I like to pull my wiener back and wear some women's panties. And she was shopping for lingerie too, and our arms touched. And I
know what that means.
I felt her come, and I know that she wanted me again. So I've been lying underneath her back deck with some Lunchables for about 4 days now, and I'm gonna pop out when she's taking her dog out here today, and I'm gonna have sex. We're gonna be together again forever. And she doesn't know it, but I know this is what she wants in her heart.
All it takes is that one arm brush to really get someone going.
And I'm trying to be funny here, but this is really how these people.
Yeah,
This is how their brains are operating.
this is real life. This is is no joke.
Then the profiling of the rejected stalker is a continual clinging to a relationship or an inadequate or dependent person's couple with the entitlement of narcissistic personalist. I have no idea what that means. And the persistent jealousy of the paranoia personalist.
Fun.
We should have had a doctor on this episode with us. Maybe a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Maybe a proctologist. I ate a whole lot over the weekend. And I think you went to some various. You went to some various. I think you went to sauerkraut festival.
Yes,
That sounds like a fucking prolapse waiting to happen.
it was a fun weekend.
Splash cold water in your bum when you wake up.
My poor bathroom.
Yeah. How about the profiling of the resentful stalkers?
Resentful stalkers. They demonstrate an almost pure culture of persecution with delusional disorders to the paranoid type, paranoid personalists, and paranoid schizophrenia.
That sounds delicious.
Personality characteristics are often discussed. Some research suggests that there's a spectrum of what might be called obsessed following behavior. That's stalking.
I don't stalk. I'm
obsessively following you.
I have following behavior problems.
So people who complain obsessively for years about perceiving wrong or wrongdoer when no one else can perceive the injury, and people who cannot or will not let go of a person, place, or an idea. Compromise a wider group of persons that may be problematic in ways that seem similar to stalking, but really is stalking.
It's just a Christian way of telling someone they're a fucking asshole,
It's just when you're trying to find ways to label yourself so it doesn't sound so bad. Like, I'm not a stalker. I obsessively follow.
Yeah. I think he's got Jesus in his heart, but
You don't need to church it up.
I think he's a serious follower of people. I don't want to call him a stalker. I don't want to, but and in the various research we have found that these people often have very weak social skills and see nothing wrong with their behavior.
Of course not.
Yeah. I think about these stalkers and I see a lot of really cool posters in their bedrooms. Like, these guys are probably still in their parents' house.
Yeah, they have the
fucking
the UV light posters.
Yeah, Space Jam poster.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
And some pizza roll, like some plates with pizza rolls maybe on them, and some Nintendo 64 going on. There's lots of really weird, creepy stuff.
Just Dark Side of the Moon playing on repeat.
Yeah. And the thing about stalkers is they don't see that their actions are actually hurting other people, and we'll get into our stories here in just momentarily. Yeah. But some of these people, their lives are ruined, and they have to uproot everything that they know and go to different parts of the world, quit jobs, move houses, just because one single person is so
Clingy.
they're drowning. Their brains are drowning essentially with.
It's like they see no other way out. Which, and you know, what can you do in the situation besides
Such a dark spot.
move?
Why do we cover all this bad shit?
It's
One time I want to come in here and talk about, like, you know, maybe cover some cosmopolitan articles, like how to have your best orgasm, that
might make the ratings go up.
yeah. And I don't want to read like wiener dog sex articles if I don't have to. This is, you know, about shock value at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're about.
We're shocking you guys.
They also don't believe that they're threatening, intimidating, or even stalking someone. So they just see their actions pretty much as attempts to get closer to that person, or to help them, or to a way to try to gain their love.
Hey, buddy, you've been laying under that car for a long time. What are you doing?
You want to love me?
I'm about to find my new wife. She comes out here, I'm going to stick my finger so far up her ass, she's not going to have a choice but to marry me. Why is it always got to go to the ass?
It really does.
My bad.
Now, they often also research their victims via public records.
Oh, dude, that's so
You
scary.
can find so much stuff on public records. It's crazy.
There's one that was circling the interwebs probably a year ago, and it was something I'd never heard of. I always see the My Life and the White Pages and Spookio, all this stuff.
Yeah.
There was this one I'd never heard of, and I put my name in it, and it had all of my phone numbers from about the time I was, you know, a kid up until now, and all my addresses. It had all of my employers. It had all the cars I'd owned.
That's crazy.
Just by searching my first, middle, and last name.
It's insane.
Sure. That's great. Have it all.
Throw that out there for
Fuck
everyone.
If you want my 92 Honda Civic, you can have it. All right? But just leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
That's what you got to tell the stalker.
They'll also obtain information from the victim's friends, their friends, their workplace, and their family.
That sucks.
So they go all out.
They show up to the smoking room at your break like, hey, are any of you guys friends with Sally? And then the one fucking bitch that hates you, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm friends with Sally. What do you want to know? Where does she live? What time does she get here? And what time does she leave? Oh, I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
Right.
Let me write it all down.
So you want me to write it down? Yep.
And then sometimes she gets home a little late on Wednesdays because she does Pilates, so she doesn't get home until 6:45.
No, she's worried about her health.
But she does stop at Starbucks every morning.
Ah.
She gets a pumpkin spice latte.
Of course.
And then she listens to Brohio when she gets to the office. And they talk about butt chugging stuff.
I don't get it, but
Because they're a bunch of dirty, sick bastards. But we don't have to worry about that anymore, do we? Do we, Jerry?
good old Jerry. Good old Jerry. Every office has one. Romantically obsessed stalkers refuse to believe that the victim does not want a relationship with them. So that they're a little cocky.
What do you mean?
Who wouldn't want to be with me?
Yeah. I just keep myself so smooth down there. I don't know how anyone could resist me.
Oh man.
I know. Stalking can be a form of retaliation because some perceived slight. That's fucking terrible.
Okay.
Indeed, many sexual harassment victims report being stalked in retaliation for reporting their harassers. And that's terrible.
Yeah, it's
Makes me want to be a superhero.
wouldn't that be great if you just could elect to do that?
Dexter. That's what the world
True.
needs.
Very true.
The world needs more Dexters.
Yeah, I need to get into blood spatter analysis.
Yeah.
You know, a stalker may also be subtle. That way the victim isn't even aware that it's happening.
That's how I roll.
So they just creep in the backgrounds and hide behind bushes,
I'm
and
kind of subtle.
yeah, they don't really make much of a point of knowing that, like, hey.
Yeah. When my wife's least expecting it, I'll leave a note. I'll write it left-handed, so it's not in my handwriting, and I'll leave it on her car window when she's at the grocery store there, and I'll just put, "Hey, I'd like to put a plastic bag on your face and smell your breasts, and maybe smell your hair when it's all done."
I'd be flattered.
And then usually she comes home and she's upset, and I say, you want me to be more romantic, why can't you just accept me for the things I like to do?
It's a two-way relationship.
It is.
It's not one way.
When's the last time you had a bag just put over your face and fucked? Has it been a long time?
Me? Oh, yeah. It's been a while for me.
Yeah. It happened to me once. I just made it like a O. I just made a little O with my mouth, and I poked a hole in my mouth.
Makes sense.
That saved my life.
It's a logical thing to do.
And the thing is, you and I still haven't talked about that.
Yeah. I'm trying to be subtle. Now, we also have the types of victims, and we're not victim shaming here, so don't yell at us.
Yes, we are. You fucking deserve these stalkers.
You shouldn't dress the way you dress.
You shouldn't be walking around here with your tats hanging out and your butt crack.
Should be walking around in a parka, not showing any skin. Makes me want to know what it looks like even more. Now, prior lovers. So this is the largest category. The most common victim profile being a woman who has previously shared an intimate relationship with her usual male stalker. We've already said that it's predominantly males. So,
and in these cases, these are the ones that most often result in someone getting killed, I would think.
I would think so too. Because these are the people that if they've been in a relationship with them before, they kind of know their ins and outs, where they go, who they talk to.
No limits.
Yeah.
You can be pushed to, like the limits that you can be pushed to by your spouse.
Right. Now, these victims are more likely to be exposed
So much fun.
to violence being enacted by their stalker, and expectably if the stalker has a criminal past, of course. Now, victims who have date stalkers,
In quotations,
are less likely to experience violence by their stalker.
I have never had to deal with this Tinder thing, but I would have to imagine there's a whole world out there of just these grimy, nasty guys. And you are just, you're setting yourself up for failure right there.
Yeah.
Don't swipe. I don't know which way you swipe, but
I don't either.
Don't swipe that fucking way.
We took Ricky's phone one time, and he told us how to do it, and then we were swiping the wrong way, on accident.
So you got a bunch of fucking...
Guy. Yeah, you got a bunch of dogs.
Gay Mexican guys fucking writing him.
I think there was a couple guys we swiped whatever the right way was for, just to be a dick.
Dogs.
Yeah. Now, a date stalker is considered an individual who had an intimate relationship with the victim, but it was short-lived.
Yeah. And then you got your casual acquaintances and friends, which that goes without saying. That's going to be someone you've possibly been friends with for a long time.
You want to hang out?
Yeah.
You want to hang out? What are you doing today?
Yeah. That one.
I'm sorry.
That one guy. That one guy in high school that's always around and just always there for you. And then you grow up and move on, but he hasn't. He still has your cheerleading outfit hanging in his closet, and he curls his hair and wears it.
Good thing I don't fit in my cheerleading outfit anymore.
Right. Neither do I. Then you have the professional contacts. Speaking of, obviously this goes without saying as well what a professional contact would be. These are going to be people you work with, and that's another melting pot of shit because you can't account for other people's actions, and you don't know what kind of... Everyone needs a fucking job. Well, not in America, but mostly everyone needs a fucking job.
Right.
So you get the cream of the crop as far as weirdos in a workplace. And this is a good segue to our first listener story.
Oh, yes.
She was the first one that wrote us.
Yeah.
We're going to call her Bezos because we're not using anyone's real names. We're going to call her Bezos.
Bezos.
And these are her words. She says, "Here you go. So I work in human resources. Generally, my career has been focused on small to mid-sized companies. So as their HR, I generally wore several hats. I did payroll, workers' compensation, benefit negotiations, administration, and other employee-related tasks." She sounds really fucking fancy.
Yeah.
This normally meant long days with early starts.
No, thank you.
Not me. So my days when the psycho decided that, quote, we were meant to be together was anywhere from 6 or 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. or sometimes midnight. Well, if you're fucking hanging out at the office at midnight and you got the creepy janitor following you around, Whose fault is that?
The janitor.
When Ted clocks in, you leave. Everyone knows that. Come on, Bezos. The company I worked for at the time was primarily focused on tours, sightseeing, and luxury transportation. This is
Ooh,
fancy.
that's fancy.
So you're coming in from a different country, state, or city. You would buy a ticket with this company, and they would take you on a tour of Hollywood, Beverly Hills, etc. So when it started, my psycho stalker was an employee of the company and drove shuttles for the company. She's doing all this fancy shit.
Where you going?
And one of these asshole drivers just decides he's going to ruin her life.
Hey, baby, where you going?
Of all the people. Why couldn't it have been a CEO or something? Well, about 2 months after starting with this company, he started coming by my office and just hanging out. I was courtesy at first. I'm
Courteous.
yeah. I was, yeah. At first, and she says, I had to drop a lot of hints like, well, I have to get on this call in like 5 minutes, or, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to call, we'll say Kim. But nothing worked. He would never fucking leave. So finally, I started being a bit more forward, like, okay, hon, I have to push you out now. Or, okay, hon, now I'm going to kick you out. But always with a smile. That's your problem. You can't smile at these assholes.
She smiled at me.
Yeah, she was trying to kick me out, and she smiled.
just
But I think she really wanted to kick me in the balls, and I'm really into that. So I had to stay for as long as I could.
The smile means there's a chance.
Yeah. Still, he'd come by and sit down or wait outside my office till I came back to the office. God damn it.
This guy.
I talked to the owner and he spoke to him. The visits were almost completely ceased at this point. Then gifts started.
Oh my gosh.
Voicemails started. Text messages started. All was shit like, we were meant to be together. I love you. You were meant for me. Oh, God. Then it became shit like, why don't you text me back? Why don't you love me? Reply or else. That's my favorite.
Else. Oh my God.
Damn it. That's when you tell your dad. He's like, Daddy, get your ball bat. And yes, the whole time I'm thinking he is off his fucking rocker, but he's harmless.
You never know.
Yes. Well, the dude starts appearing in venues where I was shopping. My Target day was ruined. That fucking asshole.
Damn it.
I mean, I'm not a woman.
You can't splurge anymore now.
Fuck with my Target day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Finally, I exposed what he was doing. The owner let him go, and I resigned. I just didn't feel comfortable continuing to work in an environment this guy worked in for such a long time. I didn't want to be surprised by him one night. I filed a restraining order, and things have calmed down. Still, it took me resigning, moving, and changing my name. God damn.
Jesus.
That's fucking expensive.
Oof.
All of that.
Yeah.
That's tens of thousands of dollars. All because some fucking bus driver wouldn't get out of her fucking office. All in all, more than being scared, I felt violated. I would have to imagine.
Yeah.
My safe zones have been taken from me, and that's what's pissed me off. I learned to shoot and learned self-defend, but this only came from the fight in me to say no more asshole. I can never give up asshole. I just didn't want to become a victim. I did not want to become a victim. I hope this helps. And that's a crazy coworker for you right there.
Yeah.
Bezos, thank you for the story.
Thank you very much. You're awesome.
I want to go to where she's at. I want to find this guy.
You want to drive the bus now?
I want to tear his jaw out. That is so creepy, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
The best part is he would just sit outside her office and wait for her. Like there's nothing else better to do.
Right. Don't you have buses to drive,
I
dude?
used to do that to girls at their locker.
Right.
Like, don't you have a fucking class? I'm like, no.
No
class, just trying to get that ass. Then you got these are good too. Well, there's workplace contacts. That's kind of rolled in with professional contacts. But then you have the strangers. Victims are typically unaware of how their stalkers began stalking. Typically, these stalkers form a sense of admiration for their victims from a distance. Now, I will switch to another story here.
I could assume that would fall under like celebrity stalkers.
Right. You would think so. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But then I have an article here. It's a Vice article. It's called The Watcher House. Okay. And this is really creepy. This was some people that moved into a house, unbeknownst to them. They moved in with a stalker. So I'm going to read you the article.
Oh, okay.
June 2014, 3 days after purchasing a $1.4 million home in New Jersey, the Broduses got their first letter. It was a dark warning from someone who called himself the Watcher, claiming the couple's new home rightfully belonged to him.
Oh, God.
The Watcher had a terrifying, albeit simple message for the family: get out. Now, the couple's lawyer claims the Watcher has struck again, sending them a letter at the end of February after a new renter moved in that was more derogatory and sinister than any of the previous letters, the AP reports. But it's hard to imagine anything creepier than what the family received in the past. This is a quote from the letter from the stalker here. It says, "Have they found what is in the walls yet?" One letter read.
Oh, God.
In time they... I'm going to do this in my stalker voice.
Go ahead, do it.
In time they will. I'm pleased to know your names and the names now of your young blood you have brought to me.
Your young blood.
That's the people that moved into this house. They had kids.
Right.
And this guy was preying upon the children to scare the parents into moving out. So he would refer to the children as young bloods. The Broduses, who have young kids, understandably freaked the fuck out when they started hearing from the Watcher and tried to move out ASAP, but under their unfortunate circumstances, you buy a house and immediately fucking depreciates, they couldn't find anyone who wanted to buy their home. We have a beautiful home for sale, but it's got a couple
Watcher
hang-ups here. The family then sued the previous owners of the house in 2015, alleging they too had received letters from the Watcher, but failed to disclose the pretty important piece of information during the sale. And it was confirmed that the family who sold them the house had received letters, but they said the letters weren't that bad. Like, we got letters, but the letters weren't that fucking bad.
They obviously didn't have kids.
Yeah, right. And the prior owners, they countersued for defamation, claiming that though they had received a letter, it wasn't threatening, and the media attention that they received from the whole Watcher scandal gave them a bad name.
I could understand that.
I can't imagine the Watcher sending a very pleasant letter, honestly. Recently, the Broduses filed another suit against the town of Westfield, which has refused to allow the couple to demolish their house and split their property into two lots on which they could build separate homes. For now, at least, the family is stuck renting out their $1 million mansion some mysterious stalker insists is his. And I'm going to quote another letter here. This is exactly what the stalker said. "All of the windows and doors in the house allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Will the young bloods play in the basement? Who has the room facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom, then I can plan better."
Fuck.
Then that's the end of that. That's the end of that article.
Man.
These people didn't do anything to deserve a stalker. All they did was move into a house.
That is terrifying.
And this has been going on a long time. And there was another article when these people first moved into this house, they received a letter from the Watcher, and he said, "My great-grandfather watched this house in the 20s. My grandfather watched it in the 60s. My father watched it in the 80s, and he's passed it on to me." So it's like this entire generation of fucking creeps
The fuck?
have watched this house. That's the way he sent the first letter, I guess.
This guy's just pissed off that he can't afford that $1.5 million house.
Yeah, and the city won't even let him tear it. I'd be like, fuck you. How fucked of a situation does it have to be for me to be like, this mansion? Yeah, I'm going to fucking tear it down. I'm done with it.
Oh, God. That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So that plays to the next one, which actually is the famous. And these victims are individuals who are portrayed heavily on media outlets, but can also include athletes and politicians. So
you have to think about Selena. She was murdered by her stalker.
Right.
Then you have to think about someone kind of unbeknownst to a lot of people is David Letterman.
Ooh.
He had a stalker that followed him for several decades. She had roughly, let me think here.
Have you seen him recently?
Yeah.
He's a nice bearded little doughboy now.
He's definitely out of control. Yeah. Her name was Margaret Mary Ray. I finally found her in my notes here. She suffered from schizophrenia and erotomania, so she's just looking for some D, honestly. For 10 years, she stalked David Letterman. She came in the public eye in 1988 when she was arrested for not paying a $3 toll while driving Letterman's stolen Porsche with her 3-year-old child as an accomplice.
As an accomplice.
Yeah.
You got to push the pedals, honey.
He was shifting. Over the next several years,
As an accomplice.
yeah. And over the next several years, she was arrested 8 times for trespassing on Letterman's property.
Oh, gosh.
At one point, she was found sleeping near a tennis court on Letterman's property. And true to form, Letterman joked about her stalking. He joked about his stalking situation on his late night show by mentioning in the top 10 things I have to do before I leave NBC. It was a skit, the top 10 list he did every night.
Right.
He said he needed a change of address forms, send change of address forms to the woman that breaks into my house.
That's so good.
Letterman was noted as never mentioning Ray's name on air and that he had great compassion for her. What a fucking guy. And I've always heard he's just, as far as human beings,
Yeah.
just absolute top notch. And he declined to press criminal charges every single time because he said he wasn't comfortable with the humanity of it all.
Okay.
Ray eventually served a total of 34 months in jail for stalking Letterman. She also stalked astronaut Story Musgrave. She was released from jail in August 1998. She eventually committed suicide in October of 1998
shit.
via train.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So,
Who wants to go out by train?
if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby.
I'd go out from that, but
Yeah. And then some other, I guess, we have lots of notable people famous people. John Lennon, he was killed by a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
Selena, like we said.
You might even be able to say that. Well, I guess you can't. Never mind. Retract that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy that killed Dimebag Darrell was kind of like that, but he was just pissed off that he left Pantera.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
Rightfully so.
yeah,
He should have never killed that man.
right,
Pantera is nothing without Dimebag. He fucked that up.
yeah,
I guess J-Lo, she has a stalker
she does.
named John Dupe. Dupe lived in Lopez's pool house for 6 days and told police he was her ex-husband and she'd been sending him gifts. He even took and posted photos of her house on social media.
she doxed her. Good for him.
Snapchat.
Yeah,
Chilling at J-Lo's pool house right now.
good old pool boy.
Did you hide out in her pool house to look at her butt though?
Yeah,
I think she's 65, but she's still one of my favorites.
it's banging.
Her and Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston she looks way better than she used to. She gets better with age. She was reverse. She's Benjamin Buttoning.
Yes.
I look at her on Friends and I'm like, I look at her now and I'm like, damn.
I don't obsess over celebrities that much, but I really do. I'm quite fond of her.
I
And then
do.
in Friends, I just started watching Friends in the past few months.
Never watched it. I've watched the bloopers, but I've never watched the show.
You've never watched Friends?
No.
I don't know what's wrong with her. If it's a medical disorder, her fucking nipples are always hard in every single episode from start to finish. I don't know if this was a 90s thing.
It was purpose.
Maybe it was from listening to too much Chumbawamba tub thumping. I don't know.
Dude, we used to get down to that song.
Oh, good, not that. So yeah, there's a lot of our, I guess our celebrity.
Yeah.
There's so many more as far as celebrities getting stalked.
I'm sure there's tons. Probably a lot that we don't even know about.
Yeah. In 2009, there was a report by the U.S. Department of Justice that says males were as likely to report being stalked by males as female offenders.
Okay.
43% of male stalking victims stated that the offender was female, where 41% of male victims stated the offender was another male. Jeez.
Equal opportunity.
Female victims of stalking were significantly more likely to be male, 67%, because we're all fucking slimy, grimy creeps, rather than another female, 24%. Don't tell Selena that, because that fat bitch smoke checked her for sure. That was shooting death, wasn't it? I think in the movie
I'd have to look it up. Yeah, I think in the movie it was. Yeah, I'd have to look back at that, but I think it was.
So there's
It's sad.
all kinds of fun stuff as far as celebrities go.
Mm-hmm. So now we were going to get into everybody's
Bread and butter.
everybody's favorite topic here. This is going to be the heavy hitters who stalked their victims.
Hard fisting.
So these are your notorious serial killers. We'll start with BTK.
I want to do an episode on him, but he's got to be one of the most covered.
He has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be one of the most covered. It's
podcasted men of all time.
Right, Mr. Bind, Torture, and Kill. It is believed that Dennis Rader, who's known as the BTK killer, stalked a majority of his victims. He had a set date on October in 2004, and it was stalking his intended victim.
He used to, and that's a different one. That's the next one, the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker.
Yeah.
His means of stalking was to stalk middle-class neighborhoods at night, looking for women who lived in single-story homes, generally located near a school, creek, or other open space to make a quick getaway. I think he was the one that would call. He would call and hang up, or he would call and leave voicemails and just like,
oh yeah,
and just breathe into the phone when he left these voicemails. But he's another one that
good phone etiquette.
Yeah, he's never been found, which is completely cool. He had 12 plus murder victims and over 50 plus rape victims. He was fucking getting it in for real.
That's too busy. How do you?
Right. It's too busy.
It's too busy.
Like you said that. Like if I had the time, I might do this. Jesus.
Who has that kind of time?
Yeah. Well,
fuck.
Right.
These guys suck.
I get worn out after a good hearty poop. I couldn't imagine like following someone around all day. You know, people.
Oh, gosh.
The people that have we probably have listeners like this that have the mileage of the marathons,
right,
on the back of their car. Or it's just like 26.3 or something.
Yeah.
Or, I'm like, fuck. Like if my wife recommends a restaurant further than 5 miles away, nope, too fucking far.
Yeah,
too far.
I'm like that with places I have to go into to eat.
Got no interest in going there.
They don't have a drive-through. What? I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You think I'm getting out of my car right now?
I might do it for happy hour though. Sonic. Yeah. So we got a couple more stories here to share with you. One is from another listener. We're just going to call her Lady Listener. How about that?
Lady Listener.
She's an avid listener, and she engages us a lot. She's awesome. She had 2 stalkers.
Whew.
So I don't know what she's got.
One's never enough.
I don't know what she's got, but it must be good.
Base says you need to step your game up. You only had one.
Yeah, you only had one creepy bus driver. Lady listener, she's got 2 of them. She was the first one stalked for roughly 2 years. These are her words. I worked in St. Paul and had to park at a parking ramp. It was about an 8-minute walk to work. The guy figured out my work schedule and started trying to walk with me or wait outside the Skyway to catch me. He looked like the guy who would kidnap you and keep you in his basement. So he looked like Rob and I. He would...
Nervous laughter there.
And she also goes and said he looks like he's the same guy that would lock you up and pet you and... God, you're my precious. My precious.
You're just a pretty girl, aren't you?
She found out that he worked for the police department, which completely spooked her out. So he was looking up her license plate, and he figured out her address. She had to get a new set schedule to throw him off. Finally, it ended. Thank you, officer, for that.
Officer creeps a lot.
She says, the second one is a little more interesting. I divorced last year. I decided I was going to get into some kinky shit.
Ooh.
This is why you have fucking stalkers, okay? Finding people to willingly do this shit with you. You're gonna follow them. I joined this popular kink site and was looking for fun. More or less a more dominant man in the bedroom, so you don't think I'm a total freak. This guy contacted me and I found out he was an older man and married. I kindly said no. He decided to create a second profile and messaged me again. I had no idea it was this guy. He wrote and told me he worked with me and would tell everyone I was into anal sex. I was also into being a submissive, etc.
I hate that I'm laughing at that.
I tell you what.
I'm going to tell everybody you like it in your pooper.
Yeah. CC everyone in the office.
CC everyone in the office.
Wanda likes it in the fucking ass. And she's a freak. Now you have 100 stalkers. I was horrified and freaked out. I thought for sure I'd get fired. I had one of my friends reach out to try to get his number. She set up a location to meet him, and I set my car instead. Jesus Christ.
This is horrible.
When I showed up, I busted his ass and told him if he kept harassing me, I'd tell his wife and daughter. Jesus. She said she'll never forget him again. Or she never heard from him again after that.
I'm going to tell everybody you like it in your butt. Like it's like the worst fucking thing ever.
Sometimes I tell people that. Just walk up to him at the fucking grocery store. If you don't buy this bacon from me, I'm going to tell everyone in the store you like to be fucked to the ass. Okay. Put it.
You got it, man.
Put it in my cart. Jesus Christ. And I don't. I'm trying to see if I have. There was another article I had. I guess it's gone. I don't know. But there was. I'm going to be paraphrasing here. It was an instance of a guy from South Africa. He created a fake profile, and he stole pictures to make this fake profile from PhotoBucket.
Okay.
And he started dating this. Guy. This guy thought the guy from South Africa was actually an attractive female, from the pictures from the PhotoBucket.
Mm-hmm.
But he found out that he was being catfished, not necessarily by a guy from South Africa, but just that he was being catfished by someone that wasn't real.
Right.
So he did a reverse image search with the PhotoBucket pictures,
which is what you should always do.
Yes. He found out who the girl was.
Okay.
And he used all of his outlets. He furthered the information. He got her address, her place of employment, all those things. And this girl is completely dumb to the fact
doesn't know
that her pictures have been stolen and that this guy is after her. So he drives to where she is, and he eventually he goes to a store and buys some items. He gets stopped by the police, and they go through his car. They find shovels, knives, duct tape, trash bags, chloroform, bleach, all the stuff you need to fuck somebody up, kill them, and get rid of their body.
Right.
They obviously did a warrant. They took all of his. He took his laptop and his computer, or his laptop and his cell phone, his tablet, and they found out that exactly what was happening. They went to this girl and said, "Hey, your pictures were stolen offline. This guy has come to find you for vengeance, and he had complete intentions of killing you and disposing of your body." Could you imagine just something like that hitting you like a fucking ton of bricks?
That really is terrifying.
You're just throwing
like a movie.
You're at the club, you just got done butt chugging like 3 black and blues. You throw the deuces up for a picture. Someone puts it on Twitter. It gets in a PhotoBucket. Some guy steals it, pretends to be you. He dates somebody, pisses this guy off.
Jeez.
Just how fucking insane is that?
This is a crazy world we live in.
It's awesome. Why does it got to be South Africa? Usually those guys are emailing me. They have fortunes they want to share with me because their fucking Nigerian prince uncle died.
They're your nephew or something.
All I got to do is cash their check of $3,000.
They will double your return, though.
Yes, they will.
They'll double your investment.
And it's true. I've done it before. Which leads me to my final story. This is a scary one. If you like the Brohio show, you definitely like scary stuff. So we're going to give you a scary story.
All right.
And this story here is from Reddit. So we'll give credit where credit is due.
Whoop.
Credit to Reddit.
Credit to Reddit.
My boyfriend, who I live with, works as a teacher in a town about 15 miles away by train. He gets home more or less at the same time every day, give or take an hour or so. I, on the other hand, work from home. In late January of this year, we'd gotten in a pretty big fight about something stupid. I can't even remember what it was about, but it was one of those fights where we didn't speak to one another, text, call, anything, the whole entire next day. So this afternoon, I was lying in bed getting work done. It was a Tuesday, and I was pretty sure his last class finished at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays, meaning he'd surely be home at 2:30, but around 1 o'clock p.m., I heard the front door open and shut. I thought, I guess he's home an hour early today. It was normal for him to skip his last class every once in a while, so I didn't really think anything of it. In fact, I was most mentally preparing for the awkward post-fight, "Hey, how's it going?" conversation. So I continued to lie in bed and do my work and wait for him to come in and change his clothes. The bedroom door was closed and I had earplugs sort of half in, as I usually do when I'm working, but I could hear the heavy footsteps of him walking around the apartment, as he always does. If we hadn't been mid-fight, I wasn't so preoccupied with the awkwardness of it all. I might have noticed it was strange how slow the footsteps were, or how long he spent walking around the living room. But I was caught up in the dramatics of the fight and didn't think anything about it. I was just lying there waiting for him to finally come in. This is getting good.
Oof.
Finally, the bedroom door slowly opened just a few inches. I turned my head towards the door and prepared to give him a sort of awkward, "We've been fighting for 24 hours, huh?" smile. But the door didn't open more than a few inches. I looked and saw that it was a woman's hand with red nail polish on the doorknob. Whoever was there slowly closed the door just as they had opened it, without entering the room.
Fuck.
I jumped out of bed, ripped out my earplugs, and sort of froze there for a few seconds while thinking rapidly. My first thought, obviously, that was not my boyfriend.
My boyfriend wears black nail polish.
Yeah. He got doo-doo in his fingernails. Then I thought, could this have been my mom, his sister, the landlady? For some reason, I concluded that surely it was his mom or sister, so I opened the bedroom door and walked into the living room. There wasn't anyone there, but the room smelled heavily of women's perfume. So at least they didn't smell like shit.
Right.
Then I came to my senses and realized his mom and sister don't have keys and have never come over before.
Why would you have thought it was them in the first place?
Great synopsis. The landlady has never entered without permission, which is illegal. Obviously, this was a stranger. I ran back into the bedroom and shut the door, now shaking heavily. There's a balcony connected to the bedroom, so despite the cold January rain, I stood on the balcony and called my boyfriend. He picked up and I asked him if his mom or sister might come over unannounced. He told me, "No, don't move, I'm calling the police." The police were there in minutes and searched the whole apartment. Of course, nobody was there by this point. It was weird, though. Nothing was missing from the apartment despite us keeping a jar full of money right in the entrance. Nothing was even touched. In fact, it seemed like the intruder came straight to my bedroom, saw my legs on the bed, panicked, and left. Plus, you can't open that big wooden front door without a key. Jesus.
Oof.
For a few days, my boyfriend and I, convinced it was just the landlady being nosy, I began to feel better. Nevertheless, we demanded that the landlady change our locks. When she came to change them with her husband, she made a discovery. There was a square area by the keyhole that had been scratched away with something. The landlady said surely someone used tools to break into the apartment. It's fantastic. Then a day or two later, my boyfriend told me, "I have to tell you something, but don't freak out." He told me that the orange kitchen scissors were missing. I obviously freaked out. I tore the apartment apart looking for those scissors. It's been 6 months and those scissors are gone. So the whole thing is just creepy and weird. A stranger breaks into a nice apartment but doesn't touch or take anything valuable, not even the money jar sitting right in the entrance, takes scissors from the kitchen, goes straight to the bedroom, sees someone in the bed, and immediately leaves. I never got to meet the person who opened the door that day. I hope I never do.
Good Lord.
Just the part where the hand creeps around the door with the red...
Like nail polish.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
It just really makes me not want to live by crazy people.
Oh, gosh, that's horrible. I don't like that at all. Scary stuff.
But at least it was a woman.
Right.
Stuff like that never happens to me.
Yeah.
I just want, I want my wife to break into the bedroom when I'll talk to her about that.
Only person that breaks into my bedroom's like a crazy kid.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Get your hands off my mother.
That's usually how it goes.
All right, well, that's the Stalkers episode.
Our delayed Stalkers episode.
Yeah, sorry. I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, me too.
We don't have the slightest clue of what we're doing next week.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
So if there's something you want to hear, hit us up.
Let us know.
Hopefully it'll be on time next week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll do our best. Who knows?
Yeah.
This life is crazy.
Yeah, and again, October 28th.
Be there
At
or
the
be
Lucky
square.
Star. We're really looking forward to it.
Yes, we are.
And review us on iTunes, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
Please do.
Mm-hmm.
I was reviewing the Australian reviews we have.
Reading them.
Those guys are fucking assholes. If you're from Australia and you're listening to us, We appreciate you. We love you. But someone out there doesn't like us in Australia.
Nah. Find that one person.
Yes.
Whatever you do.
It's probably that guy that punched the kangaroo in the face. He's probably just got a nasty disposition to begin with.
Yeah.
You know?
I probably would too.
Everywhere I go, I got to fight with these fucking roos, and I'm so fucking tired of it.
Oh, good times.
All right.
Well, we will holla at you guys
Yeah.
next week.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you very much.